If these castle walls could talk, they wouldn't tell tales of knights and fairy tales. They would scream. For centuries, these stone giants have ruled the landscape, towering, silent, and seemingly unbreakable. But behind those imposing facades, life was nothing like the storybooks. It wasn't all grand feasts and noble kings. It was cold, it was brutal, and it was filled with secrets that would shock even the bravest knight. Today, we're unlocking the hidden life inside a medieval castle, where every room had a dark purpose, every hallway held a hidden danger, and every whisper could seal your fate. When you picture a medieval castle, what comes to mind? Roaring fires, lavish feasts, colorful banners fluttering in a grand hall. The reality, for the vast majority of its inhabitants, was bone-chillingly cold. Those magnificent stone walls, so formidable from the outside, were like iceboxes on the inside. There was no insulation, no central heating, no comfort. Even kings and queens often slept wrapped in layers of heavy fur, shivering through the long, dark nights. The Great Hall, which we imagine as the heart of celebration, was really the heart of control. Every meal, every ceremony was a carefully staged performance. It was a constant, public reminder of the hierarchy, a spectacle designed to show everyone exactly who held the power and where they stood in the pecking order. But those same halls, filled with the echoes of feasting and music, also hid a constant, gnawing fear. The fear of betrayal from a trusted courtier, the fear of a sudden invasion in the dead of night, and the simple, primal fear of what waited in the winding, dark corridors when the last torch flickered and died. But the world you saw above ground was only half the story. Beneath the stone floors, a whole other world existed. A labyrinth of tunnels, cellars, and secret chambers. This was the castle's engine room, a place bustling with servants, guards, and dungeon keepers. This was where the true machinery of medieval life churned away, day and night. Down here, vast quantities of food were stored to withstand a siege. Prisoners were held in damp, lightless cells, and the castle's darkest secrets were buried deep in the earth. Some of these tunnels were engineering marvels, leading straight to the outside world. Secret escape routes known only to a handful of people, like the king and his most trusted advisors. When invaders finally breached the outer walls, these hidden passages could mean the difference between survival and a brutal, bloody slaughter for the royal family. But here, something no one expected. Not all tunnels were built to escape enemies from the outside. Some were built to escape enemies from within. Because in the treacherous world of medieval politics, the most dangerous threat often came not from a foreign army, but from someone you shared a meal with just hours before. Betrayal was a constant poison seeping through the castle walls. Think about it. Not every door inside a castle was meant to be seen, let alone opened. There were hidden antechambers where kings and their councils plotted devastating wars, and private rooms where they hid their guilt, their affairs, and their fears. Tiny openings, called squints or spy holes, were cleverly carved into walls, allowing servants, or spies, to listen in on private conversations, gathering intelligence that could make or break a kingdom. And then there were the oubliettes. The name itself sends a shiver down the spine. It comes from the French word oublier, which means to forget. An oubliette was a deep, narrow pit, often shaped like a bottle, built to hold prisoners. There were no chains, no locks, no keys, just a hole in the floor. Once you were dropped in, you were meant to be forgotten, left to the darkness and despair. This is where the fairy tale image of castles truly begins to crumble. Because behind all the power and prestige, castles weren't just symbols of safety, they were symbols of fear. Castles were built to protect, but they also imprisoned. The very people who lived inside them were often just as trapped as those they were trying to keep out. Knights spent their entire lives training for brutal wars that might never come, their existence defined by violence. Queens and noble ladies lived surrounded by guards, but they had no personal freedom. Their lives dictated by political alliances and the whims of their husbands. And the king himself, supposedly the most powerful man in the land, slept with daggers hidden within arm's reach. He could trust no one. Every grand feast could end in a poisoned chalice. Every visiting guest could be a spy plotting his downfall. Every single wall was a silent witness to a world of constant paranoia. The fortress designed to keep him safe was also his gilded cage. As the centuries rolled on, the role of the castle began to change. With the advent of gunpowder and cannon, their military dominance faded. They transformed from formidable fortresses into symbols of legacy and power, sprawling palaces designed to impress rather than defend. But even as their purpose shifted, the ghosts of those who lived and died within their walls never truly left. Archaeologists digging through the ruins have uncovered the physical proof of this hidden life. They've found secret passages sealed up for centuries, love letters and desperate pleas scratched into the stone, and even human remains hidden within the walls themselves, stark evidence that behind all the pageantry and glory, there was profound pain, incredible sacrifice, and a desperate will to survive. The real story of a castle isn't found in the tales of the great battles fought outside its walls. It's found in the silent battles fought within. Every brick, every crack in the stone, every faint echo in an empty hall tells a story. Not of kings and crowns, but of the countless servants, prisoners, and dreamers who lived their lives in the shadows of power. They are the forgotten heartbeats of these stone giants. Because behind every fortress, behind every throne, there was a human story. A story of love, loss, and endurance. And that's the secret most history books never tell you. Life in a medieval castle wasn't about glory. It was about survival. It was about surviving the bitter cold, the gnawing fear, and the suffocating politics of power. So the next time you look at one of these ancient, majestic castles, remember what lies beneath the surface. They weren't just built to keep enemies out. They were built to keep secrets in. If this journey into the hidden world of the Middle Ages has opened your eyes, please hit that like button and subscribe for more untold histories. Because sometimes the whispers of the past are louder and more fascinating than anything in the present. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next exploration.